I've watched more YouTube woodworking videos than I can count, and let me tell you, some of that advice is pure gold, the kind of stuff that can save you hours of frustration and really level up your projects, but some of it, total regret. I've had my fair share of what was I thinking moments at so like and moments after following certain tips, so I decided to put the most hyped tips to the test myself, using the same wood, same tools, and real shop conditions, just to see what actually works and what's just internet myth. No fancy editing, no cherry-picking results. First up, add more glue for a stronger joint. This one pops up everywhere, and it sounds logical, right? I tested it. One board with the normal amount, one absolutely slathered, like I was icing a cake. Guess what? The overglued joint failed quicker. It didn't even put up a fight. Turns out, too much glue actually stops the wood from bonding properly. The excess just sits there, never really drying, and weakens the whole joint. That was my first, wait a second, a moment. Sometimes more isn't better. Then there's the classic. Cheap home center wood is fine for anything. I've heard this so many times, especially from beginners, trying to save a buck. I built the same part with bargain lumber and with good stuff, just to see if it really matters. A few days later, the cheap wood twisted and warped, while the good wood stayed flat and true. The difference was obvious. You can still use it, sure, but pretending it's all the same, that's just not true. Let's talk sanding, because this one really surprised me. There's this shortcut floating around. Just jump from a low grit straight to a high one. Skip everything in between. It sounds like a time saver, but is it really? The surface seemed fine, until I added finish. Swirl marks everywhere, and they were impossible to ignore. I spent more time fixing those mistakes than I ever saved by skipping grits. Lesson: shortcuts in sanding almost always backfire. Lesson learned: shortcuts can bite you. Sometimes the easy way just means more work later. But not all tips failed. Some were actually game changers. Pre-finishing parts before assembly, I was skeptical, but it really worked. No more awkward corners or missed spots. My cleanup was way faster, and the finish was so much cleaner. It made the whole project look more professional. That one's now a permanent part of my workflow. Sometimes the internet does get it right. Another mixed result: painter's tape to prevent tear out. It's a popular trick, but does it really work? It helped a little, but the real difference came from using a sharp blade and the right feed rate. Tape isn't magic. Good technique always wins. Biggest regret though? This pro speed trick to cut dados faster. It looked so easy online. It worked until I made a tiny mistake, then the whole cut was ruined. One slip, and you're starting over. That's fine for pros, but dangerous for beginners, and nobody mentions that. Some tips just aren't for everyone. Here's what I learned: woodworking tips aren't universal. You have to test and adapt them for your own shop. What works for one person, with one setup, might totally flop in your shop. Your tools, your wood, your skills, they all matter. Don't just ask, does it work? Ask, when does it work, and when does it fail? That's how you really learn. If this saved you time, money, or a headache, hit like. I want to keep testing these tips so you don't have to waste your own materials. Subscribe for real tests, not just recycled advice. I'll keep it honest, and I'll keep it real, and drop a comment with the next woodworking tip you want me to try. I'm always up for a challenge. And who knows, your suggestion might be the next game changer.